So 261 points over 5 games. That's averaging over 50 points a game for James Harden. 61 points last night at MSG against the Knicks. And all of it basically done without anybody helping him out. Almost every bucket, 76 of them, unassisted. James Harden gets the ball, scores the ball. And for some reason, while that puts him in company, potentially, historically, on points per game averages with guys like Kobe or Wilt or Michael Jordan, I feel less than... I don't feel less than enthused. I don't feel empty. It's just I don't feel like I'm gushing. That's it. I'm not gushing over it like everybody else. It feels something off. It feels a little off. Why? Let's ask ESPN's NBA analyst Tim Legler on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Get triple action protection for optimal engine performance with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. What's up, Tim?
What's happening, Will? Good to talk to you, man.
Am I just like being one of these TV guys that won't give credit where credit's due to an athlete that's doing something amazing? Am I being a Rick? What am I doing here? Or is there something that a lot of people are feeling?
No, I think a lot of people understand the basic point behind this, which is you're giving him credit for what he's doing because it's a remarkable feat to be able to score the ball that easily and at that rate against NBA-level competition, NBA-level athletes is an incredible accomplishment. So I think you're giving him enough credit. I think everybody is. But I think where the emptiness comes in is there's not a rational person that believes that this style of basketball can lead you anywhere in the postseason. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And, they've got two hurdles. The first is whenever Chris Paul gets back, clearly can't play this way. Because even if you said, all right, well, we'll play that way when James Harden's on the floor, but we'll try to stagger their minutes a little bit, Chris Paul can't play the same way James Harden plays. And if you've watched the Rockets recently, as Harden has increased this, there's less and less and less movement. There's virtually zero player movement on the Houston Rockets right now.
And why would they, right? And why would they?
It's incredible to watch. Like, I watched them against the Sixers the other night, and I watched every play of that game, and Sixers blew them out. And I'm just going, this doesn't even look like basketball, because basketball at its greatest form is a beautiful thing when guys are moving and the ball's moving and there's screens being set, there's cuts being made, even if you don't get the ball and all those things. The Houston Rockets literally don't move at all, so you can't play that way when Chris Paul comes back, and you can't play that way against any team.
I'm with you,
Tim.
Tim.
Of the Western Conference.
And you're right. What you're doing is explaining. I think you're right. This is why I feel that way. I talked about soccer yesterday, man. I've come to appreciate the aesthetics of sports, right? Like, in the aesthetics truly come in with human beings doing things in concert together, moving, coordination, teamwork, and that's not what we're seeing with the Rockets. But I'm going to play devil's advocate now, okay? How about this? Harden is doing what he has to do while Chris Paul is out. They're 16-6 during this run. He's shouldering the entire load and keeping them afloat without their co-star. So why are we depriving Harden of credit if he's doing what has to be done?
Well, a couple of reasons for me. I know here's a couple of reasons maybe I'm not all in on this and selling this. Two things. One, you don't know that this is the only way they can play. This is the only way they're allowed to play because James Harden is a player that literally will not move without the basketball at all. Think about that number that you just gave, a percentage of points that he gets that are unassisted. He had 175 in a row recently without anyone giving him an assist. So he's not going to move at all without the ball. Even when he played with Chris Paul, they're winning games. He would stand out by the logo if it was like not his turn. Yeah. So I don't know if you say, well, there's no other way they can win. Well, no, if James Harden was willing to move like most normal basketball players, maybe they could play a different way that actually would make them look like a team where you go, wow, they've got this explosive score that's almost unguardable in a one-on-one situation, but they also have great movement too, and they share the ball and they move it. And so now they got the best of both worlds. So I don't know. I want to just say there's no other way they can play.
I buy that. Okay.
So that's where I'm not gonna. That's where I'm not gonna just sell out that way. The other thing is, if you go and look at every one of these games during this stretch, and I'll start with the Knicks. It's laughable how poorly prepared they were defensively to play them. Literally. I mean, I felt like saying, did you guys not watch any of the film of the Lakers game or Philly? He scored 37 against Philly. They got blown out by 30 because of the denials they had on him, picking him up full court, all of the things they did so he would catch the ball later in the shot clock the second time. and have very little room to operate. They forced their role players to make shots, and I think their top three guys outside of Harden were like 3 for 30. The Lakers, they're playing so high on his left hand, they're forcing him to drive right, and they're staying right behind him the entire time. So that fade step back three is taken out of his arsenal. The Lakers do a great job on him, and then you get the Knicks, who their defenders playing in front of them, 6 feet off, inviting the step back three. There's no help on dribble drive penetration. They're staying chest to chest with guys that you dare to beat you, and they don't do that. Mm-hmm. And Memphis had a game in this stretch where they, on the fly, decide they're going to start trying to run guys at them when they've never practiced it, and he's just throwing pitch and catch shots to Gerald Green and Eric Gordon for wide open threes in the corner. So the defensive ineptitude of some of these teams and the lack of a real game plan has also played into his ability to pull this off.
All right, ESPN NBA analyst Tim Legler here on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line.